Yeah, I'm not paying $500 for grass.
Yeah, I mean, I would. I'm balling like that, but.
My job as a game maker is about immersion. It's about to put you into an experience and let you live that experience. The richer and more accurate those visuals are, the more immersive it is.
And if we can get a lot more performance, and I mean a lot more, like with this, we get to much greater and better game experiences as a result.
We're moving Fallout 4 to VR, and to have a console that can support that at the resolution and speed that we really want, I think it's going to be magical.
People are losing their shit. Project Scorpio, people. But yes, as you see right there, it's the juiced up steroid version of the Xbox One. And of course, you got all that fun jazz in there. The people saying, this is what the developers wanted us to make. This is going to push console gaming to the new level. This is the best thing for VR. This is all that fun jazz. And this is the last year before they had all the full specs out. But now, people, we actually have all the full information that you want to hear from. And then all you PC heads right now, I'm sure you're all like, well, we've had this for years. Scorpio, you ain't shit. Mm-hmm. But hey, all of us ain't PC master race. We bow down to our overlords, but some of us are slow. It's a little slow. I like to just plug my stuff in and play.
I like controllers.
I like buttons. Yeah. So many buttons. Mm-hmm. I don't feel like I'm working while I'm playing my game. But I'm gonna hear so much shit for that. But you're saying, well, what are the specs? What are this thing that's gonna make everybody fall in love with it? Boom! Here you go, right here over on Eurogamer. And this is comparing it to, if you see right there, the first row right there is Project Scorpio. The second one is the Xbox One. And then the third one is the PS4 Pro. So the big thing people were saying is, how does this compare to the PS4 Pro? And for the most part, it blows it out of the water.
Oh, does it really?
Yeah, it's got everything hands down on it. And everything you see for the PS4 Pro is like, we got more.
Yeah.
And hey, you've had what? It's going to be almost a year, because they're saying this most likely will come out in 6 months, so in October. So you had a full year on the PS4 Pro and the Slim, which came out. So hey, congrats! You're doing big things right here. And I'll read some of this stuff off for the people that are listening on SoundCloud right now. The PS4 Pro has 8 Jaguar cores clocking in at 2.1 gigahertz. The CPU on Project Scorpio has 8 custom clocking in at 2.3 gigahertz. GPU is 40 customized units with 1,172 megahertz. The PS4 Pro is 36 units with 911 megahertz. Memories are 112 gigs. Jesus Christ.
Jesus Christ.
We're trying to take down a Pentagon. But no, Project Scorpio, 12 gigs of RAM. PS4 is 8. Memory bandwidth is 326 on the Project Scorpio. The Pro on PS4 is 218. And then the hard drive is the same, 1 terabyte. And then the big thing with the Project Scorpio over PS4 Pro is the 4K UHD Blu-ray optical drive, and the PS4 is just the Blu-ray drive. And then you're saying, well, how does this compare to the Xbox One S, which recently came out, which is kind of like so you have the Xbox One, which is like a normal standard person, and then you have like the Xbox One S, which runs and goes to the gym every once in a while. It stays healthy. You can go a little bit further, and then you got Project Scorpio, which does steroids. And that's basically what it is. And for comparing to the Xbox One S, it's kind of comparable, but then again, the Xbox One, the Scorpio is obviously going to be better. It's had years in development. It's got more stuff they can throw into it, and it's going to cost more, obviously. So big ups to Microsoft. We don't give you guys a lot of props out here, but Project Scorpio looks like it's going to shape up to be something dope, and it's going to, obviously, they're saying revolutionize 4K. I don't know what the fuck that means.
Yeah, I don't either.
I don't think 4K has penetrated the market that much. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, because I feel like 4K. I have a 4K TV, but I also have a 4K 3D TV. No, but 3D is dying. 3D is dead, basically.
Yeah, it is.
At home anyway.
Yeah.
And with Project Scorpio, there's the big proponent, and with the PS4 Pro, was 4K video games. And if you see certain things like Horizon Zero Dawn in 4K, beautiful. Like you could tell that was one of the games that they were working on to be the game to show off the PS4 Pro, which is cool. And hell, it even looks great on the regular PlayStation. But this is where it kind of makes me take a step back. And this is just me personally. I don't know. I'm asking y'all as well. Is it too much?
Is it too much?
Is having these console updates too much? And I probably should have phrased that better the first time I said it. Is it too much? Is what too much? But no. Prime example. We had the PS2 when it came out. That big behemoth on the left that nobody bought that blue stand for. You either sat it down or you put it up. You didn't get that dumbass stand for it. But then you got the PS2 Slim, which came out, what was that? Maybe 3 or 4 years after it?
Yeah, it was a while.
Yeah, it was, no, let's see. About 3 years.
Yeah.
And the PS2 Slim came out, and you're like, all right, it makes sense. It's just a smaller version of the PS2. It's not as loud. It doesn't put out as much BTUs or heat as the regular PlayStation, and it runs things a little bit faster. But it wasn't like 4K.
Yeah.
So you got the PS2 Pro, and I'm sorry, the PS2 Pro, the PS2 Slim. So you're like, all right, that's fine. And then people, I'm sure y'all remember this behemoth of a console.
Yeah.
The original Xbox with those giant ass controllers and the unnecessary extra DVD controller that you could not play DVDs without. The controller did not work at all.
Fucking stupid.
Microsoft, man. It's Microsoft. They know what they're doing, Gertz. Don't you question our overlords. They are everywhere. Look at these PCs up here, man. All these cameras got everything up here got some kind of Microsoft component in it. So yeah, we got the Xbox, which came out, and then not right after that, a few years, they came out with the 360. How long was that? It was what, the original Xbox came out in 2002, and then the 360 came out in 2006.
I want to say 2006, 2007, and it red ringed a lot.
Yeah, it had issues. It had some problems.
At launch, it did.
Yeah. So again, that was a little quick turnaround, but not too bad. That was about 5 years. So that's something where I understand. If you want to have, go from an older generation to a newer generation, 5 to 6 years, I think is a decent range.
Yeah.
It's not too bad. And then of course we got the Xbox One and the Xbox One S and the Xbox. Now we have Scorpio. My question is it too much to have these beefier systems come out, and then I'm sure we're going to be getting a new PlayStation or a new Xbox, and we just got a new Nintendo console probably within the next 2 years. Mm-hmm. Is it necessary, or is there a point to doing all of this with the consoles that we have now?
Money. But I think that's it, really. And I do think it is a little much, honestly, because I feel like a lot of these changes on paper, when it's just numbers, people get super excited about. It's like, oh my God, this is the most powerful version of this console ever released. But I have a hunch that when you put them side by side, the differences are going to be pretty minute. They're going to be pretty small, because even 4K versus 1080p, a large number of people, they can't even really perceive the difference that much.
Right.
The difference is pretty slight. So I am a little, I don't know if actually I do think irritated is the word, honestly. And also, me personally, I don't think it's really going to help Microsoft all that much in terms of sales, because they don't have a whole lot of exclusives.
Very true.
Yeah. While Nintendo has Zelda, which is crushing it right now, Sony has Horizon and God of War to look forward to, The Last of Us. Ratchet and Clank. They just announced that they're going to be doing re-release Jak and Daxter. They still have properties that they own, not necessarily own, but are exclusive to them.
Right.
Microsoft doesn't really have that much.
Yeah, and a lot of the stuff that's on Microsoft consoles usually ends up being on PC anyway.
Yeah,
and that rarely happens with things like you said, Nintendo and PlayStation. Like you can't get Horizon Zero Dawn or Last of Us on Steam or your PC, and you can't get Zelda or Pokemon. Well, you can get an emulator for Pokemon.
Yeah,
or Smash Brothers and Mario, things like that, because they're exclusive to Nintendo consoles.
Yeah. Oh, and Sony also has that big Spider-Man game coming out soon too.
That's right, from Insomniac.
Yeah.
So yeah, and you said you were irritated by it. Are you irritated by the fact that they're releasing these consoles that have these minute changes, or are you irritated by the fact that they're just re-releasing the consoles over and over, and it doesn't seem to be a really end to it. Because they just elaborate on that.
Okay, it's probably more of the latter thing you said, that there doesn't really seem to be an end in sight, and I don't think they're changing things up very much. You know, it does really feel like same product, new coat of paint, and you're going to be charging more and more for it. It's like, oh yeah, the blades of grass look a little sharper in this part of the game, but I don't think they're addressing the issue, which is holding them back in terms of sales. Microsoft they're falling short of their projected sales. They're not selling as well as they'd like to be. It's not a bomb. It's not like the Wii U or anything like that.
Yeah.
But Sony's got a pretty big lead on them in terms of console sales, and I think it's because of exclusives.
Yeah.
And I want to see Microsoft do well, and I want to see Microsoft have games that I want to play. I really liked the first couple of Halo games. I liked Gears of War. They had exclusives back in the day. I want it to be about the fucking games, goddammit. Your game console.
Right. And one of the big one of the massive massive exclusives that they have is, of course, Forza.
Yeah.
And that's the game. It's actually, I think it's taken over Gran Turismo as the benchmark for simulating car games.
Yeah.
And of course, they just released the a little still from Forza running on Project Scorpio, and it looks beautiful. But I feel like we've been saying this for like the past 7 years, because it's like when they show off the graphics for Forza when it was running on the 360, or even when it came out for the Xbox One, or if you want to talk about Gran Turismo running on the PS3 and the PS4. Car games always look good. Like you're like, oh my god, it looks just like the thing. It's like, well, yeah, and that's what it does.
Yeah, that's why it's the same thing when you put robots in CG, robots and slimy creatures. Of course, they look good when they're rendered because they've got a sheen to them. They're shiny. Same thing goes with these fucking cars. I'm not that impressed by just visuals of cars. Yeah, it looks like a photograph, but that also doesn't tell me the frame rate, and it
says frame rate 60 frames per second at the top. That's what they're saying they can do, man. Don't give me that look. Don't give me that look, dude. Don't.
Really?
That's what they're saying, though. I'm just letting you know, like, it says, 60, just to be fair, to be, legit journalist, it says 60 frames per second. And
I question it.
You question it?
Yeah, I want to see it in motion. That's what frames are.
That's fair. And Mr. Gertz over here, the gameplay man. How dare you, Last of Us? You're shit because your gameplay is bad. But no, that's fair. We do want to see. We do want to see the game moving and the game being played. This is one of the main things that I think prevented. I'll speak for myself. Prevented me from going out and pre-ordering or getting it day one the Nintendo Switch, was because every time they would have some kind of press conference for it, it would be a video of people playing it or the game just running without showing somebody interacting with it. I like seeing when people just mess up horrendously at E3 when they're playing a game, or the console just breaks, or they have that Michael Bay moment where they're like, I can't do this, and then you walk out the stage. Like, I like that, and it shows, hey, your game has a bug and you're gonna be working at fixing it. But when you get all this pre-rendered stuff or just stills that don't really show much of the gameplay or show anything that's gonna entice me to buy it, you're showing a beautiful picture, but that's about it. Like, I could do that, especially with games like Final Fantasy. I could just show you a cutscene and be like, yeah, this is what the game looks like. Yeah. And then you get the game, and majority, like, that's only like 5% of the game, or the game you see.
Yeah, it feels like you're putting up a shroud in front of your product.
Yeah.
It feels like you're trying to bamboozle people. Here's a still of this game. Yeah, but when I put in the disc, I'm not going to be looking at stills.
You don't?
No. Unless the game freezes, no.
It might. No, you would never get to see it live.
Yeah, and that was a good point about the Switch. I remember we talked about that too. It communicates a lack of confidence in your product.
Right.
And it's obvious, and it's going to keep people from buying it.
Yeah, and I feel like, okay, and the reason how I feel about them coming out with these updates and these rehashes, I'm fine when it's something like the PS2 going to the PS2 Slim. Like,
Yeah.
it's like, all right, we just made the console smaller. That makes sense. It's like, it's technology. It does that.
Yeah, and it was like 3 or 4 years later.
Yeah, and they're like, here, it's just a smaller version. Well, does it do more? I mean, kind of, but it ain't nothing special. But this one is like, yeah, I'm sure we're going to charge you like $400 or whatever, however much this Project Scorpio is going to cost. And it does the world. And if you have an old Xbox One, you should just trade that shit in. You'd be like, well, then why did you release the Xbox One when you had the
Yeah.
Scorpio?
Why are you acting like this thing is new?
Yeah, like this, and I understand you have to act like it's new to sell your console, but don't like lie to us about it, because this isn't 1995 where our parents are out there buying the consoles for us. We have money.
Yeah.
We can look into these games. We've been playing video games for the past 30 years or 20 years or however old you are. You know what to look for, and you know I feel when there's value there. And me personally, we have an Xbox. I want to say Xbox One S. We have an Xbox One S, and like, it's dope. We took it out the box very, very rarely. But I would not tell somebody to go out and buy a Project Scorpio. One, first of all, if you don't have a 4K TV, which is still not a massive market, the market penetration for 4K TVs is not as high as you think it is.
Yeah.
And two, it's just like what Gert said earlier. It's you're just slapping. Yeah, you put a few new nice things in there, but for the most part, it's just a new coat of paint. Especially when it comes to the video games, it's just like, all right, well, you make the same games. It's just gonna be a little bit more. Like Gert said, this grass is so crisp.
Yeah.
Or this loads like 20 seconds faster. It's like, all right, like, you're not doing much for me to validate me going out and buying the same console, just a little bit spicier.
Yeah, I'm not paying $500 for grass.
Yeah, I mean, I would. I'm balling like that, but I just realized what I did.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
That was such an accident.
Okay.
That was such an accident. Wordplay, people. Accidental wordplay. But yeah, it's goofy, and come on, if you didn't buy an Xbox One, you're more than welcome to go out and buy a Project Scorpio. But I have a feeling if you were interested in getting or you are a fan of Microsoft or were interested in getting an Xbox anyway, you either already brought the One or you purchased the One S, because you're like, hey, this is like the one it's better than the regular one. Mm-hmm. It's faster, larger hard drive, more, and I think the One S has limited 4K capabilities. Mm-hmm. And then with the Project Scorpio, it's full 4K capabilities. So yeah, I would say Microsoft, y'all, you're gonna sell this anyway. In 6 months, they're saying that's the expected date.
Yeah.
So right in time for the holiday season.
Yeah.
Project Scorpio, it could be dope. I guess that's the thing about it. I hope it's good. I don't want it to be bad. If somebody's going out to buy this system, good luck to you. I hope it's dope. Mm-hmm. But I'm getting tired of getting consoles that get rehashed 3 years after they come out, because you're like, well, then why did you release this? And I'm sure some of y'all are making the argument right now, well, they do it with cell phones all the time. I don't buy a new phone. I know a lot of people go out, like the second that new iPhone comes out, they trade in their old one and get the new one.
Yeah.
I'm not that kind of dude.
I'm not either. I'll keep my phone until it stops working well.
Yeah, bitch, this is a recession. Yeah. Everyone is poor. we can bomb Syria, but can't afford to buy we can buy iPhones.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's I hope this all works out well, but Microsoft, who knows? The ball is in your court. I would prefer you just come out with an entirely new system, and just, hey, here's the Xbox Scorpio, and it's better than the PS4 Pro. It's better than the Xbox One. It's better than everything out there right now. And then you set the benchmark, because right now Nintendo just had the most recent release, and they're not setting any benchmark with the Switch. It's running at 720 if you're not connected, and 1080 or 900 if you are, right?
Yeah, it's not even full 1080p.
Yeah.
And it's still kicking ass.
Yeah. Well, if you could find one.
Yeah.
Yeah. But again, that's not the market you're going for anyway. You're going for those bro Call of Duty, Madden, like those guys, the hardcore gamers, as you like to call them. Mm-hmm. And you can hit that market if you came at this the right way. But I feel like you kind of shot yourself in the dick last year when you were like, yeah, we had the Xbox One and we had the One S, and then Project Scorpio's coming.
I feel like they need an exclusive, man. They need another Halo or something, because people I think are fed up with Call of Duty, especially.
Well, that's not even exclusive.
Yeah, and one, it's not exclusive, but that kind of genre is kind of dead now.
Well, yeah,
Not
I mean,
dead, but it's not what it was.
they have exclusives. They have Dead Rising. They still have Halo.
Yeah, but Halo's lost its luster a good bit.
And it's on PC.
Yes, yes, it is.
Well, I think that's the other thing too. If y'all market that well, I think you could do a good job of crossplay. If they like, hey, the Project Scorpio can play with any PC game, that'd be dope. I'm like, all right, you're giving me something, and like, come out and say that though.
Yeah, say something that your console can do or has that no other console has or does.
And I'm meaning like every game, not just like, well, yeah, like it works with Rocket League and all that, like, because the 360 worked with Rocket League on playing against people on PC. So I'm saying you need to come out and say every single game that comes out on the Scorpio, you can play it with your PC friends. I think that'd be a great selling point, and that'd be something that we've talked about on this show multiple times about cross-platform playing, which we all want. And you are fucking Microsoft. You run the PC gaming circle, and you run Xbox. You can merge that technology, but you guys seem to just be twiddling your fingers. So I don't know. We wish you luck, Microsoft, but like Gert said, ain't nobody paying that much for grass.
No. Anyway, everyone, we hope you liked the show. If you did, give us a like, leave a comment below, and subscribe to Double Toasted on YouTube. You can also find us on twitch.tv, the high score DT, all one word. Mr. Goodwin?
Or you can go over to doubletoasted.com and check out our full videos there, or also go over to SoundCloud, link in the description, or you can just sit here and watch us all day because we're going to stare for like the next 3 minutes.
Ready, go.
You should have paused it earlier. That would have been 3 minutes. You messed this up.
What? Oh.